Jalen, check out Kai Jones in Summer League.
Ooh, that is nasty. 19th pick out of Texas. Gonna be catching lobs from our guy, LiAngelo Ball with the Hornets. Let's start the show.
He's Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
What up, though? We get it, people! What they want.
We have more Summer League action. We have some big NFL news, but we start with the gold medal Team USA men's basketball team led by none other than Kevin Durant. They beat France in the gold medal game behind another Kevin Durant performance. Oh, by the way, he also signed a 4-year, $198 million extension with the Nets. Jalen, did anyone have a better weekend than Kevin Durant?
Not at all. And not just the weekend, Jacoby, these past few months. And let's go back to the beginning of the pandemic. This delayed the NBA season. Players went into the bubble, and ultimately the Lakers became the champions. This all became extra rest for one Kevin Durant, who got an opportunity to rehabilitate his torn Achilles and not rush himself back in any way, shape, or form. Take the longest time of any player returning from that injury to actually play in an NBA game. And what has that done? Wonders for his confidence and reestablish him as not only obviously an elite scorer, but one of the top couple of players we have in the league, regardless of how you are grading. And so for the Bucks to win the championship, they went through the Nets in the process. Yes, they were banged up. Harden was injured. Kyrie was out. But Giannis is the offseason's valedictorian. He's number one in the class, okay? The way he balled, he made his free throws, he got a signature block, he got a signature lob. He brought the Bucks their first championship since the early 70s. But the salutatorian of the summer, that's Kevin Durant. How he played in the playoffs, the turnaround jumper over the left shoulder. We know if his feet were a half size smaller, they probably would have eliminated the Bucks even being shorthanded. And then now to play the way he's played in the Olympics, how about he's the only guy in the history of Team USA basketball to average 20 points during one Olympic run. He averaged 20, dog.
He's also scored more than anybody else in the history of Team USA. And I just want to say real quick, when they lost to France, I said they would not lose another game and they would win the gold medal. There's a lot of doubters out there, but David Jacoby had their back the entire time. And it was because of what Kevin Durant mentioned, the unmatched skill that they have, and specifically him. He had an amazing summer. I think in the wash of the Bucks championship, we forget just how good Kevin Durant was in the playoffs. But in regards to the Nets contract, I love this for the Brooklyn Nets because they secure him. Because if you remember, like, him, Harden, and Kyrie all could have left after a couple of years, but now you secure him for 4. Do you expect the other two, Harden and Kyrie, to also stay with Brooklyn long term?
I believe so, and it actually happened in reverse. That's why I brought up KD's injury, because that injury now led Kyrie to be the lead domino, because he was the one that actually signed with the Nets first, and then KD, and then they acquired James Harden. So now that KD has re-upped, you anticipate the other guys will do the same. And as you know, this is going to be great theater for the NBA for years to come.
Jalen, I'm going to do the media thing and completely overreact to like a couple good performances. I think this will be the year that Kevin Durant not only wins a gold medal, but also wins an NBA championship for Brooklyn. But we'll determine that in years. There's something else happening in the NBA that we need to shine a light on, and that is your Detroit Pistons are playing in the Summer League, and that means number 1 pick, Cade Cunningham, took the floor.
Basketball.
He didn't exactly tear it up, but it was good to see him in the Pistons uniform, wasn't it?
How about this? Who did tear it up? It's Summer League. Like, if you really look deeper into the box score, there are a lot of things to examine how a young player is being used. Sometimes they're being used in different positions. Sometimes they're being used to showcase their strengths. Sometimes they're being positioned to work on their weaknesses. There are different matchups out there. It's a new game, a new level. Some of these guys are first-time players. Then you got seasoned vets like Fareed and Beasley trying to hopefully make the Blazers. So I was happy to see the young fella out there balling. Killian Hayes, got to watch his development. Isaiah Stewart and Bay continue to develop those young players in Detroit.
One thing I love seeing him on the NBA floor was just stood out to me was his height. He is tall for a ball handler. Like, he was using his length, his wingspan to get in the lane and kind of finish. I really like that aspect of his game. Do you think he can turn his height into a major advantage in the league?
Absolutely, Jacoby. And I like his poise and maturity. And that's something you really want as the face of a franchise caliber guy. And also in college, he proved to be clutch as well. So he's going to be a great player that in a lot of ways becomes a calming influence because you now have a face of the franchise. And again, I'm going to keep comparing this to what we saw with the Hornets once they added LaMelo Ball. You know you have something special, and then you just continue to build around that.
Jalen, I'm going to need some help. And it involves Doris Burke, who asked during the broadcast, what are Cartier buffs? So I need some Detroit to English translation. What are Cartier buffs?
Shout out to the D. I'll tell you, Cartiers are the glasses, extremely stylish. Buffaloes are a style. Buff is for short. Initially, we got introduced to them on a national scale from Coleman A. Young, who was the first black mayor of any major metropolitan city in the United States of America. You look back at his pictures, he had on the Cardis, he had on the Dobbs hat. And then obviously via street lore, unfortunately, a lot of people have been shot, have been killed, have been robbed wearing those glasses time and time again. And so it's the gift and the curse of, yes, they're extremely stylish, but there is a lot of pain for Detroiters behind those glasses in a lot of families because, unfortunately, a lot of people have suffered dearly by.
He's been to 10 NBA Finals. So if the Lakers don't advance to the finals, it's not like you're looking at LeBron James, who, by the way, is 36 years of age. You know, Russell's 32. He's gonna pick up the pace because the Lakers were a slow team. They damn sure ain't gonna be slow with him on the court. We know how electrifying he is as a player. He's absolutely unstoppable. He's a walking triple-double. The question is going to be, are you going to be that piece that can take the Lakers over the hump in a Western Conference that's got at least 6 potential title contenders? To me, it's Russell Westbrook more so than KD.
Now, Stephen A., when we have these debates, we are assuming health, right? Like, we're assuming these teams are healthy.
We're assuming health.
If you assume health, there's no one under more pressure. Let me rephrase that. The guy under the most pressure is Kevin Durant, even though he has multiple NBA championships and multiple NBA Finals MVPs. And the reason is this. And KD, I want the lower third you have for LeBron, Stephen A. You might need it for KD too. But
the ticker,
he is the most talented player ever at his height, ever in the history of basketball. He's obviously a diligent worker. He would never get to this height.
Astute businessman. Astute businessman. Let's not forget 35 inches.
He is extremely. When you hear KD talk, I've interacted with him very little, but here and there, when you hear him talk, he's obviously highly intelligent. You see the way he's handled career, highly intelligent. And he is an authentic person. He comes across as a real guy. So all that is true about Kevin Durant. But this is what you sign up for when you put together a team like the one they have in Brooklyn. You have to win. If you're KD, these guys are healthy, you must win. I noticed, Stephen A., you said Lakers have to get to the finals because we all recognize, look what they got in Brooklyn. If they're healthy, good luck, everybody. KD understood because he is so intelligent and obviously has a lot of passion for basketball. The guy just loves to play basketball. But he also must have recognized if I wind up without a chip, people will never recognize really what I'm capable of, my actual level. So, and as we're all complaining, you called it the weakest move ever for a superstar, and I was saying it doesn't even count if he wins because they can't lose. Meantime, he goes and wins 2 chips. Our whole perception of him changed. It went from he's this incredibly talented player to where exactly are we putting him among the very greatest players of all time? Is he there with LeBron challenging MJ, or is he just with Bird and Magic and everybody? Like that, he was right about the way we would perceive him. He was right. He joined an unstoppable team. We took some credit away, and even still, in terms of the way he's perceived, he was right. But Stephen A., when you do that, here's what you sign up for. You must win. If KD on this Brooklyn team, who's now been together for a year, even though not always on the court or not often on the court together, going into next season with this crew, comes up short, and coming up short means not winning a championship, that's a failure for KD. That's almost like a scandalous failure, and he won't live it down. There's more pressure on him than anyone.
Well, first of all, Max, you're wrong, completely wrong. And guess why you're more wrong than anybody else? Guess who can prove that you're more wrong than anybody else can prove? Even more so than me. You know who that person is, Max?